Hello, Dawgpound South campers. This is the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. I'm your host, Steve Gill, and it's draft week. I know. Thursday night is kind of anticlimactic because Browns don't have a pick last year. That they don't have a first-round pick. Next year, they have a first-round pick. So that's something to look forward to for next year. As I've been saying this year, they have 6 picks, starting with pick 54. I really expect them to use that pick. I don't really expect them to drop down from 54. Maybe at pick 85, they might drop down to pick up an additional 4th-round pick. I have a feeling that they'll use one or both of the 7th-round picks to move around. I can't really see them picking up any 2025 draft picks because they already have 8. They have a first, a second, a third, a 4th-rounder, 2 6ths, and 2 7ths. They might try to pick up an extra 2026 draft pick because they only have 1 in each round in 2026. So it would make sense to start picking up extra picks then if they go for future picks. I have maintained that the Browns should pick an offensive tackle. There are many good ones that could be available at 54. Kingsley Suamatea out of BYU. Fisher out of Notre Dame might be there. Patrick Paul out of Houston could be there. I actually think they'll take 2 offensive linemen somewhere in this draft. I have a feeling that they're going to take a guard in on day 3. Javion Cohen has been interviewed by them twice. Brandon Coleman, a big guy out of TCU, also a possibility. So I can see them possibly doing a reshuffle of their offensive line. Let's just think for a minute. They haven't re-signed Jedrick Wills yet. They restructured Jack Conklin's contract. So they could cut him next year prior and save them about $3.9 million. So you could have 2 rookie tackles in 2025, which would be good financially. It would give them some cap stability going forward if you had 2 offensive linemen on rookie contracts. They do like to invest heavily in the offensive line. This year, it'll account for about 16.7% of their salary cap. It's the largest position group they spend on second, well, not counting quarterback, and that's only because of Deshaun Watson's contract. So moving forward, and they also spend a ton of money on their defensive line. That's about 16% of their salary cap. That's where your money is made in professional football, in the trenches. So after these breaks, I'll come back and talk a little bit about player contracts. So a lot has been said about restructuring Deshaun Watson's contract. I really don't see them doing that yet. I would assume they want to make sure he's healthy enough before they do any type of restructure. He said he was throwing about 40 yards. So we saw the restructure in Nick Chubb. They redid his contract, saving about $10 million, put the cap savings at about 13.5 under the cap as of right now. So you want to hold off on Deshaun Watson. You want to make sure he is healthy enough before you do anything with his contract, or they may just want to do a reset. They could do a couple more players at restructures. One comes to mind is Greg Newsome. A lot in the local media has been said about his 5th-year option. Well, this year isn't his 5th year. It's next year, but they will more than likely pick it up 1st of May. It sounds like Andrew Berry's perfectly happy. When they asked him about trading Greg Newsome, he said how did he put it? He said it's really good to have 3 press corners on your roster. So it doesn't sound like Greg Newsome's going anywhere. So what you can do is you agree to pick up that 5th year option next year, and then you do a little restructure to keep him on the contract, make him affordable. He's only going to be paid I believe a little over $3 million this year. So that's perfectly feasible to have that. The only other thing we're waiting to see is if they're going to redo Amari Cooper's contract. I can't imagine that they think in the long haul Jerry Jeudy is going to be a number 1 wide receiver. The way his contract's structured, it doesn't look that way. So I'm curious to see if they're going to go in and redo Amari Cooper's contract. Elijah Moore still isn't signed. I don't know if they're going to bring him back. Usually you're going to see contracts done with this team during the summer months, July and August. That's possibly when they're going to redo them. They're close to giving contract extensions to Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with contracts. Like I said, they can still create more space just simply by doing Greg Newsome and Amari Cooper. And we'll wait and see on Deshaun Watson. The Nick Chubb contract tells me that they think he's going to play this year sometime. I'm still of the belief he's going to be put on the PUP list, but that wouldn't be bad. That means he'd have to be out for only 4 weeks. So he could conceivably come back sometime in October. But let's just hope they take it slow with Nick Chubb. Anything else? Well, as we all know, they know Brazil, but could be London. So look for that. The schedule's due out 1st of May. I got a feeling the NFL is going to make it up to the Browns. Their first game may be a home Monday night football game. That would be the perfect way for the NFL to say, sorry, we got your hopes up about Brazil. How about a primetime game on Monday? So that would be fine. A home Monday playoff game. I know a lot of people are concerned about the Billy Joel concert that Friday, and that's why a lot of people thought that they'd be playing in Brazil. They could get the team ready before that, because of that contract. It could be ready by Monday. So draft. One last look at it. They really don't have any dire need at any position. Andrew Berry kind of hinted that he would be keeping the 54th pick, and also reiterated that he is looking for future starters. And that's my line of thinking. It wouldn't be bad to add a tight end, or they could add a veteran tight end. They sign veteran players late in the season. They do it every year, and it always works out. So I do believe they need another tackle. I'm not happy with James Hudson as a swing tackle, even though he does play better right tackle than left tackle. But you need somebody in the backup, a left tackle. And DeJuan Jones, if healthy. See, that's the other thing. You got 3 offensive tackles coming off knee injuries. So that's why I just think they're going to take a tackle. And also watch the undrafted rookie free agents. Like I said, Andrew Berry likes to get rid of those 7th-round picks and start calling players before everybody else can get ready to go. They brought in a lot of visits. There are quite a few players that aren't expected to be drafting. So that's them telling these players, hey, we're interested in you. So when we call, if you don't have give us consideration, we'll make it worth your while. So that's it for today. As you can tell, I'm in an undisclosed location. I could say I'm doing draft research, but I'm not. I'm just in Western North Carolina. So I want to thank you for watching, listening, and following all our contributors here at the Fanatical Elves Network. You can find all of our podcasts at Fans First Sports Network and the Fanatical Elves Network. Articles and podcasts and videos, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, whatever your preferred platform is. So this has been the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. And as I always say, we're Browns fans just like you. So have a good day and go Browns.